Hello, everyone. My name is Rob Pinkle. I'm the current president of the SIG, and welcome to the annual membership meeting, which obviously in the past we've held at the National Convention, but with COVID canceling the on-site ones and our ability to bring it to more people through the online Zoom sessions, we have done this last year, this year, and then we'll continue to do it moving forward. First thing on the agenda is to introduce all the members of the board who are on here. Along with myself, president, we have Bruce Morton, who is the vice president. Roger, who is the secretary. I know I saw Roger somewhere. Mark Nolan and Eric Smith, who are board members at large. Believe Owen is here, one of our assistant treasurers. If there's anybody else, he's here. Let's put a note in the chat. I'll introduce you. I don't think that our regular treasurer is on, or any the Peter Kerr, who's our election coordinator, or Jeff Youst, who's the membership manager, appear to be on at this point in time. So our first thing is to give a short president's report. Obviously, we'd love to have stuff at the national conventions we have done in the past, with it being canceled and moved to virtual the last 2 years. We haven't been able to do that. We look forward to getting back to St. Louis next year, and then Dallas, Texas area the year after, to be there with our regular booth, sell memberships, sell merchandise, sell books, and meet everyone face to face as we've done in the past. Next up is we have our membership report. Our numbers are down a little bit from their peak. We're at about 1,321 members. From that, there's about half that are electronic and half that still get the physical copy of the magazine. Speaking of membership, I'd like to Eric talk a little bit about the website and the new membership features that are built into that, being able to renew and join through the website.
Sure. So I don't remember when it went live. The new website obviously has been a work in progress. We're continuing to add features to it. However, the big change was completed several months ago, so that you can do all of your purchasing and renewing all directly through the website. One of the things that we found was that the paper process, the manual process, we were losing people in the transaction flow, so to speak. One of the things we've been doing with the virtual meetups is constantly plugging. If you're not a member, if you want to support this, join the OPSIG, join the OPSIG, join the OPSIG. So now we have a very quick way with just a couple of quick forms. Somebody can get signed up, especially as a digital member, get instant access to the entire back catalog and be ready to go in a matter of minutes. It's also greatly cut down the work for Jeff Youst, our membership chair. Instead of manually reconciling PayPal payments, it's all automated now. Now we still do get some manual payments, and some people still pay by check, but even now people are taking advantage of the ability to print a stub from the website and then mail that in with their check. But he's been able to cut down his trips to the post office box because we're simply not getting that much mail anymore, which is great. A couple other things that we've announced: the old payment address that was at Yahoo is closed. Do not use that for anything else anymore. Your payment will be rejected. All payments need to be sent to the new address of payments@opsig.org. That's for anything, back issues, all of that. That all needs to go to the new address. That old account is getting shut down entirely. So, as always, we appreciate any feedback you have. I know we have get the occasional people who need some assistance getting logged in or going through the password reset process. I've heard complaints about the password rules. The main reason for that is your address information is in the website. That's how we manage membership. So that was the reason for the stronger password and the very typical password controls that you see on any other website. So that's just it's for your safety. It's not to irritate you. It's not to make it harder to join. It's just, it's good governance of data. So any questions on the online membership process or the website? And by the way, I have not locked out the unmute option for people. So if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask. But seeing no questions, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay,
Rob.
thank you. Next, we have the treasurer's report. We just published all the treasure information about our bank accounts and status in the July 2021 magazine. The OPSIG is still a very healthy organization. We don't expect at this point to have to raise dues for our magazine anytime soon. And again, Owen, is there anything you'd like to talk about as your assistant treasurer position? You're muted. Owen, you're muted still.
I thought I could unmute by the space bar.
No,
unfortunately, I don't have the financial figures.
Okay.
Treasurer does.
Okay. Well, if there's again, all the numbers are on in the July 2021 magazine. If there's any questions, just unmute yourself and ask away, or put a message into the chat, and someone will try it. Okay. And it will take time, spend time for questions about anything that you have about the OPSIG at the end. Next is the election results. We had one position available on the board this year and one candidate running. So congratulations, Bruce, again for winning the election and beginning his second 3-year term. There were also the 3 questions that we had to change the bylaws. Obviously, one of them dealt with changing the annual meeting from the in-place at the convention to a teleconference through Zoom or some other media. The second one was again about changing it from a conference call to teleconference or teleconference video conferencing service. And then the final one was mentioned that the bylaws had said that we would send 4 mailed issues, but with the electronic memberships that we sell, we just wanted to make it clear that it's 4 issues. And all of the board, all of the bylaw changes passed with almost unanimously. There's a couple of dissents for them, but they all passed and they're all in effect as of now. Moving on, next item is the status update of our book, the Model Railroad Operations from Design to Implementation Compendium book. We still do have some available for sale. Last note from Steve Menezer's is about 650 of them available. So if you're interested, you can look at our website to get the information on where to send a check. We are discussing as the board the possibility of doing some sort of reprint, electronic probably, of the 19 East book, the TT and TO book, because we know that's been out of print for a number of years. We're not sure how many people would be interested in it, but it is something the board is exploring as an option. And then along that lines of books, we'll turn it over back to the editor. So Eric can give an update on the dispatcher's office and what he has been working on.
Sure. So as most of you know, been more than a year, we've switched away from White River Publications as our publisher to a local company named Yaney Marketing here in the Indianapolis area. Since we've switched, we have not been late at all. In fact, we've been significantly early getting the issues out. I generally have the digital copy in hand at least a month prior to the issue date. With the exception of around the holidays where we had all those mailing snafus, which unfortunately were not our fault. We had the issue. We generally will get those issues out. So for instance, for the October issue, those typically will be sent to the post office at the beginning of September. So they have plenty of time to get them out. And the last several issues, as far as I know, we have not heard any widespread issues with getting those delivered. That seems to be maybe a one-time thing around Christmas time. I know I had some packages coming from Romeoville that I literally could have trained a turtle to walk over to Romeoville, pick them up, bring them home in less time than it actually took them to get here on FedEx. So, but like I said, I think the board has certainly been happy with what Kevin Yaney is the owner and his team are putting out. I think he did some really nice things on the refresh of it more than a year ago. And the board decided, or we had a 1-year initial contract, and we've since renewed that for an additional 2 years, with obviously the option to continue renewing as long as Yaney wants to provide the service. So, and as always, I'm always looking for articles. Currently, we have the October issue is in the pre-press stage. So I'm looking for articles for the January issue. If we want to write something, I need it by the beginning of October. Our publication schedule is up on the website. Generally, any content you want to publish needs to be to me 3 months prior. But we do have it is a very long lead time to get these things published and edited and all that. So pretty much anything goes. We've tried to have a good variety of information about the prototype. We've got a good article by Joel Morse about following a train around his layout. We've kind of cut back on just the photo essays of events. Those are all pretty much going to Facebook at this point. But occasionally we still want to show how people operate. We want to talk about your layout. If you don't really have if you're not really a writer, that's okay. Let me know. We want to hear about your layout, whether we help you write the article or, you give me pictures and we can put something together. But the more the merrier. We've had a lot of new authors contribute, and we want to see that continue into the future. So I think that's everything, unless there are questions.
Does not sound like it. Along that lines, you want to talk a little bit about the virtual meetups? Because I mean, you're obviously been handling that as well. I know you're looking for some people who are interested in presenting there.
Oh yeah, the virtual meetups have been a surprising success for OPSIG. I don't have a good. We've changed the sign up form to have a "How did you hear about OPSIG?" So we can kind of get a better idea of where people are coming from. And there's been at least a few new members who have come via the virtual meetups. Just a few numbers. In 2020, we held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We held 21 virtual meetups between live attendance, YouTube videos. Over 14,000 people either participated live or watched our replays. This year we've had, let's see, where are we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 12 of them, and we've still seen almost 7,000 people attend in person or watch the video live, or watch on YouTube or participate live. And those are a little bit, if you want to kind of get into presenting, this is a good way to do it. We generally have had, we had been capping out at 100. That's kind of slowed down lately, but it's also the summer. So if you want to present your layout either in a half hour or a full hour, we'd love to hear from you. We are sort of slowing down for the summer. We had a session, one session in July, we have one in August, and then after Labor Day, we'll go back to 2 per month as long as people are still showing up.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, I got a question on the viewers. Is there a way, or do you have a count where they're coming from, like England or Australia? Not just a rough idea.
It might be in the, let's see on the statistics here.
Yeah, there should be some YouTube
Yeah, I'm taking a look.
information that shows where they're coming from.
Yep. I'll have to hunt that down. Actually, it looks, here we go. More than half are coming from the US. The rest, we've got Canada. A small percent from Canada, at least as far as the network addresses think. But that kind of makes sense. Operations that we do are very US focused. It's a very different style of operating than they do in the UK or elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like US 69%, lifetime 69% are US. Canada is 2%, and then other countries had 0.2 from Russia. So they're out there representing.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Rob Cooper here, E-Town, Kentucky. I noticed my iPad's not set up with my address like everyone else's. First time I've been on the Zoom with you guys. Really enjoying it. And thank you, Eric, for all your help getting me in the July issue. I really appreciate that. First time I've ever written an article or had anything at all in any publication. So thank you so much for all your help with that. Really enjoyed it, and really enjoying this group here. I've been a part of it for a couple of years, but first time I've been online with any of you guys. So thanks for letting me join.
Glad to have you. And writing an article wasn't that scary, right?
Wasn't too bad. It took me a little while. I'm not a writer. I'm more of a technical guy, so it was a little challenging, but I got through it okay.
Oh, there you go. So there's your testimonial that writing an article is not as bad as it sounds. So
that's right. Yes, thanks.
all right, well, back to you, Rob.
Okay, thank you. Next thing on the agenda is the 2021 Bill Jewett Award winner. As most of you probably on this call probably know, Bill Jewett was one of the founders of the SIG, and had run the organization until he unfortunately passed away. And after that point, the organization decided to create an award in his honor to give to people who help support the organization, help write articles for the Dispatcher, help present information. So we are pleased to announce that the 2021 Bill Jewett Award winner is Bob Hanmer. Hope I said your name right, Bob. We are happy that you've helped, support the operations with the OPSIG. I know you just did a virtual meetup talk last week, and with some of the other things you have done. I think I saw him on here, but
Yep.
he was.
Yep. Thank you very much, Rob. I appreciate the vote of support and recognition from the board. Thank you.
Yeah, so we will get you a plaque within the next month or two. We have to get it, created and then shipped out to you. And then there is also a financial benefit for winning the award. But thank you, congratulations, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, round of applause. Last thing I have on my printed agenda is a little talk about next year's St. Louis 2022 convention. I have talked to someone who, again, may be the coordinator, Michael Thomas, who had done it for last year's and had set up all the layouts, and obviously we had a lot of the stuff set up before everything got canceled. He is interested in doing it again. So we will be talking with the board, will be talking with him, providing him information and support to get all that all set up. And then the 2023 will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We have James Peterson, who I saw on here earlier, who will be our local coordinator. James Peterson. So that should be a good layout, a good time and convention. And after that, I don't know, because I don't know if the NMRA has announced any dates further than 2023 at this point in time. At this point, I don't have anything else on our planned agenda. If any of the board members would like to speak on any topic, I see them shaking their head no. If Bill Raymond, who is our prior president, would like to speak of anything.
Yes, I did want to actually ask a question.
Go ahead.
As you know, way back when I first got drafted to serve on the board, et cetera, I also coordinated the publication of the convention guidebook, which each time we identified a coordinator for the specific conventions, I would forward that material to them. But I've always thought that was kind of a bad idea to have one guy have that, for a variety of reasons. And with all the changes we've made, I'm wondering if there isn't some place we could not find on the OPSIG website or whatever to download that material, so that in the future, when you have a coordinator, you can say, go to this site to download the book.
Sure, we can make that happen, I'm sure. I mean,
Now,
is it mostly in Word or PDF?
yeah,
format
it's
at this
mostly
point?
Word. Yeah, it's
Okay.
mostly Word. Yeah. And obviously there's no big problem. Like if you identify a convention coordinator that needs it, all you got to do is let me know. I'll send it to him. Obviously, provide him any assistance I can if he needs it.
Okay.
But I still think it'd be good to have it in a central location as
Yes,
opposed to resting
definitely.
with an individual.
It should be, yes, it should be centralized. Bruce, I see you have your hand up.
Just a quick question for Bill. Is the handbook designed so that potential local area coordinators could look at it and say, hey, this is something I could do?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Bruce. A matter of fact, I've actually provided it to 2 or 3 coordinators for regional conventions to give them a step up from having to recreate the wheel, and they seem to think it helped them a lot to get things organized. So absolutely, it can be used at a regional or any other level. It doesn't even have to be obviously an NMRA or OPSIG event. It can be just for coordinating a ops weekend.
So maybe we should put it somewhere on the OPSIG page so everyone in the membership can take a look at it.
That's,
Maybe
yeah, that's
even
what I'm
non-
thinking.
Maybe even non-members.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, you have firsthand knowledge about how it works. Maybe an article for Eric and put it in the DO.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose I could do that.
Just a
mean,
thought.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't know, just off the top of my head, I don't know what I'd say that isn't in the book, but yeah,
Maybe just like, this isn't as hard as you think it might be type thing, just
well, yeah,
these
and
are the guidelines, follow this. And
Yeah.
we've got a lot of people who've done it before. We got a lot of the events that have happened, obviously not as many in recent dates, but we've got a
Yeah.
lot of people who have all the knowledge, and we just need to share
Well,
it with
I
people who are
do know
interested in doing it
this.
again.
I do know this. Of course, Michael got a copy of it, as did who's the coordinator for Grapevine? David Parks, right? Is that right?
David Parks was for San Jose,
Oh, yeah, he was Santa Clara, yeah.
Santa
And I,
Clara.
but yeah, I don't know. I think whoever the designated person for Texas got a copy, but I can't 100% swear to that.
Okay, we'll check with him.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you get it to me, we can get it up on the website. That's no big deal. We have
Yeah.
plenty of space.
yeah. The only thing probably Eric will have to work on is that I did have some attachments, examples that went with it, and they're probably not in any really good format to do. So we may have to rework them so that they're, easier for the people to see when they download it. But I'm sure with your help, we can figure all that out.
Okay. I do want to make one other announcement, which I didn't do during the election. So for next year, for 2022 election slate, there will be 2 positions available on the board. Both current members who hold those positions can run again. The boards are limited to 2 3-year terms, and both of those individuals will be finishing their first 3-year term. But if you're interested in running for the board, reach out to myself or anyone on the board. If you're interested in volunteering, we're an all-volunteer organization. We're always looking for assistance in whatever you think you can provide to the board. If you've got some, ability to help, maybe with Eric with editing the DO, that would be great. If you've got, the ability to crunch numbers, maybe the treasurers can help. If we've always been looking for like an ad manager, we'll talk to some of these companies and see if they're interested in putting ads in the DO, which help offset some of the cost of production. So if you're interested, just reach out to any of us and we will definitely find a position for you if you come to us. Okay. Again, if everyone can unmute themselves, if they have any questions, comments, concerns, we're here to answer them for you for this evening.
I have a question that doesn't have anything to do with the OPSIG, but
Okay.
there's 50 people here
Mm-hmm.
that are a pretty good database. Has anybody had any of their tables disappear from JMRI? I know it's a weird question to ask the group. I've got pretty good sized layout, and I've got signals and all sorts of stuff. I was running off JMRI, and twice my signal tables have just disappeared, just gone bye-bye.
Hey, this is
It's,
Ross. There's been some discussion of that on the JMRI users group, so you might want to check there.
Okay, that was probably me.
It may have been. I don't remember the names. I've got an issue right now where on one particular system, roster has disappeared twice. I got to take a look at it and try to figure out, is somebody going in and playing with the system since it's in a club environment? Or is something else going on? Because my system at home is not having the issue.
Well, this is my home
Okay.
system. It's not connected up to anything. It's been running fine. It's 3.1. It's the older version, but I like it because it's bulletproof up until a month ago. It just started going haywire. And then the first thing I get told is, well, you have to upgrade to 4.24.
Well, John?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I would say there has been a few issues where tables will disappear, and you're saying just specific tables, like the signal head or signal mast, right?
Signal tables and sensor groups are disappearing.
Okay.
They're there, but they're
Sen-
no longer grouped together.
Yeah, I was going to say sensor groups, they've been kind of like a stepchild sometimes over the history. So that one, I'm not familiar enough to make much of a comment. One of the things that has happened on occasion with one of the signal tables is you were adding something or editing something and exited in the middle of it, and it unfortunately recorded a erroneous value. Then when it's opening up and trying to repopulate the table, it throws a big messy error and it breaks creating the table. But in either of those cases, first thing to do, go look at the system console. If there's a big long stack trace, then we have a pointer to, okay, what went wrong? It might not mean a lot to you, but to those of us who do dig in the code now and then, it can find an explanation. You know, as for the old versus new, I'd have to say, unfortunately, you're far enough back that it's going to take a bit. If you did decide, because of other features, you wanted to step forward, you'd have to do it in a couple of stages, because what happens every once in a while, we make some change that kind of rewrites something. It's easy enough to go forward if at that point you load it up, open, save it, which saves the new format. Then you do the next set of updates that are understanding the new format, but didn't understand the old anymore. And there's a couple of different points. It's in the release notes. Now, to the other poster was mentioning about roster issues. Generally, you have to go look to see exactly what roster path was being used on which system. And if you're opening up well, it's a neat feature, but it's also a can of worms of something like Dropbox or that, where you have multiple systems trying to share a single roster. Once again, you got to check to make sure the file permissions, stuff like that can be the issue. In a club environment, the one thing I have seen is that sometimes somebody starts Panel Pro instead of Decoder Pro, and if the profiles aren't set up identically to point to the same place, yes, they can be inadvertently pointing in multiple places. So it's the diligence of open a session, you go look at file location, see if something's not where it belongs, and then you trace down, okay, this one needed this change, this one needed that change, to get them all happy together again.
Would I be better
I've been
off?
through that. Whoops.
Oh, I was just going to ask, instead of upgrading, I know to get to 4.24, I got to go through 4.21 or something. Would I be better off just to knock it completely off the system and just start all over again?
That would be based on exactly how much you had in created, panel files or tables. If you had a whole bunch of stuff created, obviously that's a lot of diligent work, and it's really a shame to throw it away unless it's fraught with various glitches or other things. The other thing is it also depends on which system you have. As you know, some systems in JMRI, when you fire it up, it will learn some of the turnouts or sensors or the basic parts. And other systems, you've got to enter each and every one of those. So yeah, there's some, there's pros and cons. yes, you could get updated quickly by just skipping all that, but it means that trying to load any of your old work, you'd be back and forth to the system console file. Okay, it didn't like this, that means this, and or end up freely editing the import, the panel file, which, yeah, I do that often enough, but it's one of those things where one character out of place and the whole thing's a mess. So yeah, editing those files is not something for the faint of heart.
Well, it's 3 computer screens, double on the dispatcher's panel. It's, two dispatcher panels and 150 turnouts and about 300 signals. And I realize it's a large job, but it's very scary when you fire it up and it says, "Hey, we can't find your we can't find your signals, we can't find your tables."
Yeah, when those things happen, hit the console quick and see if there's something there, because I would have to say better than 50-50 chance there is something it reported.
Okay, thank you.
And now back to our OPSEC business.
Yes, and thank you, Ken. Again, any other OPSEC questions, general questions, membership questions, future questions?
Bruce Morton, can you look at your chat? I sent you a message.
I will look, Travers.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point, do we want a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Is there any word on the Bill Jewett Award?
Yes. Yeah, the Bill Jewett Award is for Bob Hamner.
Oh, great. Very good.
And if we'll have an article about him in the next issue, I believe.
Rob, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Thank you all for attending the meeting. Again, I can stay on some time here if anybody has questions. If you want to